What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we're here for AEW on TNT review and AEW Revolution predictions for this Sunday's pay-per-view. But first, we need to get through the final AEW show before Revolution, as we had Shaq make his AEW debut with Jade Cargill. And I'm just gonna be honest, I didn't like the match. Shaq I just don't like celebrity matches like this, and Shaq it didn't do it for me. It's not my thing. There's people out there who said it was great. Jade Cargill was meh. Red Velvet was like the best part of that match, but we'll talk about it in a bit. 10 took on Max Caster to see who goes on to the AEW Revolution Face of the Revolution tag ladder match to see who will face Darby Allin in the future, as well as Tully Blanchard for the first time in over 30 years having a match on television. Holy shit. And in the main event, John Silver teams up with Hangman Page to take on Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn. Plus, will Ryo Mizunami beat Nyla Rose, or will Nyla Rose make it a trilogy against Hikaru Shida? All that and more tonight. And as I said, we started off with Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet with Arn Anderson versus Shaq and Jade Cargill. And, of course, the biggest thing people are going to be talking about this match is Shaq taking a bump through two tables, which was so fucking predictable, it was not even funny. All I know is I didn't like the match. It was boring. Shaq Shaq looked like he was having fun out there, which is one of the things you should be able to do. Because, you go out there, and it's the thing. Yeah, Shaq looked like he was having fun. He looked like he was having more fun than half of the WWE main roster. Doesn't mean I liked the match. Cody did everything he could to make this look good. Red Velvet did everything she could to make Jade Cargill look like she is an up-and-coming star. Red Velvet, we've seen a little bit of nothing. She hasn't been in any real big matches. I guess this is the biggest match technically she's been in. She hasn't been in any of those high-velocity matches where you're going to have her go up against somebody and it's going to be a barn burner from start to finish. But she's got talent. She has potential. And tonight, she showed that she can carry somebody like Jade Cargill to a pretty decent match. I did not like the match. I think it fucking sucked. I never want to see Shaq in the ring again. And honestly, the table bump was not impressive. It's like, oh my god, Shaq went through two fucking tables. Anybody can go through a fucking table. Plain and simple. He stood up there. He walked, it would have been one thing if you would have set up to having Shaq go out there, but Shaq walks over to where the tables are after Jade Cargill and Red Velvet both set one up, and I'm like, gee, why would they need to set up two tables if Shaq wasn't going through the table? And he just walks over there, sets himself up to take the table bump. Cody jumps over the top rope, knocking him over, and I'm like, I'm supposed to be impressed with that. Not really impressive to see Shaq go through two tables. But Jade Cargill hits a glam slam. Don't know what they're going to call it. Gets the pin in the win. Honestly, it was her first match. You're not going to have Jade Cargill go out there and lose. It was actually, I think, her first official actual match. I could be totally wrong. But, yeah, I thought it sucked. I thought this was something that AEW went to do just to get people to talk. That's all it was for. That's why you do this stuff. That's why we had Mike Tyson there for Double or Nothing last year and the AEW show, the Wednesday show after, but not for me, not something I want to see. So that was that. Then we had two thirds of Death Triangle come out. They took on John Skyler and D3, and this was just, I don't even think D3 even got in the match. John Skyler just got fucking killed by these guys. They went out there. They beat the living piss out of these two. Package cutter. It looked like Rikishi's old finish in WWE. It actually known what it looked like. It looked like he took the drill claw and said, I'm going to just do it myself. Nasty shot to John Skyler. These guys won. Nothing else you can talk about. MJF and Chris Jericho head to the ring for the Inner Circle. For the Revolution press conference. Dasha moderates it. Now, they came out and they were like, we're going to go to commercial break while Judas was playing. I'm like, you're not going to commercial break until Judas is done. Come on, people. And I really don't care for these type of segments. It's just the same old shit. But this is AEW and Chris Jericho. This is not the first time Chris Jericho's done this type of press conference thing. But you have people from Bleacher Report. You have Conrad Thompson making an appearance. And, of course, Eric fucking Bischoff. Eric Bischoff had the best line saying, on your list, Jericho, on your list of stupid ideas that you had, you've done, stupid things you've done, where does pissing the Young Bucks off rank on that list? Of course, MJF had the best insult on Conrad Thompson, calling him turkey tits, I believe is what he said. That was fucking fantastic. Jericho says he's never wanted to hear Sammy's name again because Conrad asked, could they let Sammy Guevara back into the inner circle? Still, we have not seen Sammy Guevara for a couple weeks. Here's my thing. We'll talk about it. I think Sammy Guevara will make his return on Sunday. How? We'll talk about it here in a bit. Now, of course, they were asked why they attacked Papa Buck, and they said it wasn't our idea. They handed the mic to Santana, and he says that Matt and Nick should have never brought the little bitch dad to the rant around here. Then Bischoff shows up, does his questions thing. Jericho says he doesn't like the question and tells him to shut up. He continues and says the Bucks and says, we don't know the condition of Papa Buck. We don't care. Out come the Young Bucks, and they cut the promo of their life. This was one of the best promos in 2021. Probably the best promo for the Young Bucks in AEW history. In their AEW history, it was great. Talking about what their dad means to them. Without their dad, there is no Young Bucks. Without the Young Bucks, there is no AEW, and that would mean that Jericho right now would probably be jerking the curtain at the Performance Center, which I found hilarious, and MJF would be at home in his mom's basement, waiting for a call back from the Rosie O'Donnell show. They don't have it up on YouTube right now, so I can't get that clip for you guys. It is awesome to hear. If you haven't heard it yet, go listen to the Young Bucks, because they 100% just cut one of the best promos all year. So they said also that their dad taught them one thing, is they need to sometimes stand up for themselves, and sometimes that means they need to kick some ass. Super kicked both men, MJF and Chris Jericho, fought Santana Ortiz and Wardlow. I believe Wardlow was out there. Jake Hager wasn't there for some reason. Maybe he's getting ready for another MMA fight. I don't know. But Brandon Cutler comes out. He fights with them too. We get him up on the stage. The Good Brothers come out because the Good Brothers were there last week helping them get Papa Buck to the hospital. Which, by the way, that was fake blood. Papa Buck did want to cut himself, but they were like, dude, you can't do that. You can't do that. So, of course, the Young Bucks and the Good Brothers go back a long time. They probably are friends with the Papa Buck. So they help them. One was on the stage, on a table. Santana and Ortiz. One's on the stage. One's on the floor. You have Carl Anderson holding, I think it was Santana, Ortiz. Yeah, Ortiz up top. Santana was down below with Brandon Cutler and them, egging these guys on, and you got double stereo drop kicks. I'm not drop kicks, but elbow drops, taking both of these guys down. And it was just fucking great. So then we get a recap of Jon Moxley and them. We get a promo for the Jon Moxley Kenny Omega match. We get some words from Atsushi Onada, who Excalibur says invented the damn match, who knows a thing about facing these exploding barbed wire death match, facing Terry Funk before. Talks about the match, and as the wrestler says, this appropriates the stipulation of these two rivals. And it was pretty cool to get, like, what Excalibur said was the man who invented the match out here on video. It was on video, giving his thoughts on this match. Again, I am going to say this right now. This is going to be probably one of the most hardest matches to watch in AEW history. Then we had FTR and Tully Blanchard with James J. Dillon. Yes, J.J. Dillon was out with FTR and Tully Blanchard. And you had FTR wearing the classic, far superior to what NWA uses now, the NWA World Tag Team Championships. I do not know what Tully Blanchard was wearing, but he had a title around his waist too. They took on the Jurassic Express. This feud has been going on for a while. Of course, a couple weeks ago, after Jungle Boy won his match against, it was Cash or Dax, one of those two. They beat up the Luchasaurus and cut the horns off of his mask. Then, of course, FTR got suspended for about 2 weeks. And now it comes down to this. Now, we started the match off, and Tully Blanchard got in it with Marco Stunt to start off. That's, of course, where he's going to have most of his deal. And this was a heck of a match. 6 guys going out there. Tully Blanchard, of course, the first time in 37 years. There was a point in this match where he looked like, oh my god, he's going to go for a tope. And then he just stops and struts around the ring. Not much else you can say about this match. It was Luchasaurus. It was just like these guys wrestling before. It's a hell of a match. But then, for whatever reason, start splash down on Wheeler to break up the pin. Tully hit the slingshot suplex on Stunt. Luchasaurus nails Tully with a roundhouse kick. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus look to finish off Wheeler, but can't quite get it. Jungle Boy tries for a suicide dive, but some masked man in an AEW t-shirt jumps in the way and took the blow. They jumps up and whacks Luchasaurus with something as he's near the ropes. Double spike power driver by FTR with Tully Blanchard. Tully pins Luchasaurus 1, 2, 3. What the hell? Who could it be but none other than Shawn Spears. Shawn Spears is back. Has blonde hair now. Hugs the group. They stand in the middle of the ring. Arn's just coming up the ramp. He's stroking his fuzz that he has. They do the 4 horsemen hands in the middle. And then JJ points back to Arn Anderson, who puts up the 4 and gives him the 4 horsemen sideways. And Arn Anderson just leaves. So they're teasing the 4 horsemen once again. Will it be soon? I have no idea. So, I did find this on Twitter here for a minute. Paul White makes his AEW debut, talking about what's going on with him and what is coming up soon.
Raise your hand if you saw this turn coming.
Raises his hand.
Honestly, Tony, you know what? You've known me since I had long hair and a bright future. So we've known each other a long time, and I just want to say how incredibly happy I am to be here at AEW.
I will say, when he came out, you saw the biggest smile on his face. The biggest genuine smile I think Paul White has had in probably a long time. Especially after the last time we saw him as the Big Show on WWE TV for Raw's Legends Night. He's standing in the back, and Randy Orton just comes over and berates him verbally, and he can't do a damn thing about it. Again, Randy Orton made him look like a bitch. And then, of course, the money problem, like him not getting a contract that he felt satisfied with. So here he is. He's wearing a black shirt that's in blue lettering. It says, "No more BS." Could mean bullshit, could mean Big Show.
Definitely. Starting out on TNT, and then I get a chance to come back to TNT after all this time. It's an unbelievable honor to be here, and I look forward to working with the amazing talent here in AEW. And you and I have an opportunity to work together. Because Tony Schiavone and I will be heading up a new show on AEW called Elevation. Where I will get a chance to do a passion of mine and do some great color commentating on some amazing AEW talent. And just so you know that I'm taking my color commentating job seriously, Tony, you're not the only one that gets the big scoops, buddy.
Really? What do you mean?
I have the biggest scoop ever. This Sunday at Evolution, AEW is going to hire, put in contract, a Hall of Fame worthy talent that is a huge surprise and a huge asset to AEW. Yeah, but listen, it's not who you think. But this Sunday, you're going to find out who it is, and I want you to know that I knew who it was first. Tune in to find out who we get.
Let the speculation run fucking wild. Who could it be? I don't fucking know. I really don't think it's going to be. I think the reason he had to say it's not who you think is because everyone immediately is going to be like, oh my god, CM Punk coming to AEW. CM Punk confirmed. And I don't know who. We do still have a qualifying match for the Faces of Revolution ladder match tonight. But we also have an empty slot that is going to be filled on Sunday. So maybe we find out who that person is and then they are the sixth person. I have no idea. All I know is, yep, big Paul White in AEW. I can't wait to see what AEW Dark Elevation is going to be like, because we've heard Paul on WWE television on commentary when he's having a match or a feud with somebody and he's out there scouting them. He doesn't sound too bad for the few times we have heard him. So it'll be interesting to see how he is, and being on commentary for a match where you get to talk a little bit is totally different than an entire show, maybe an hour for the most. That's like me doing this and just talking for about 30 minutes compared to just giving if I was on a podcast with a bunch of two other people or somebody else, being the guy who just gives my thoughts while they read out the match, like Brian and Vinny do. Like Brian gives his thoughts while Vinny reads out, goes over the match blow by blow. That's different than just doing it all on your own, or like this, doing it with somebody and being there for at least an hour. Should be interesting. It's going to be starting March 15th, so that is in 12 days. So I'm sure that's going to be taped next week. Cannot wait to see what happens. But yeah, Paul White, good little thing here. We didn't have any stupid shenanigans with somebody coming out trying to talk bullshit with him. But again, let the speculation begin who it's going to be. I'm not saying CM Punk. It would be cool if it was somebody outside of out of the box. The obvious one, of course, is CM Punk. But him saying it's not who you think it is, we'll see. We'll definitely see. I don't know who they could be. And honestly, if it is CM Punk, I'd be absolutely disappointed because, honestly, yes, he's a Hall of Fame worthy talent. Is he an asset to AEW? Honestly, I don't think so. I think him coming back for Backstage, and this is another reason why he probably won't be coming, is because he still has a contract with Backstage, I'm pretty sure. But let the speculation begin. Let me know in the comment section below who you think. Nyla Rose with Vicky Guerrero versus Ryo Mizunami, AEW Women's Eliminated Championship Tournament Finals. This tournament has been going on for the last few weeks. Nyla Rose beat Tay Conti, Britt Baker, and Thunder Rosa to get to the finals. Ryo Mizunami beats I can't remember who she beat originally. Hold on, let me see here. It's right here. She beat Maka Ito. Oh man, by the way, Maka Ito, I want to see in AEW more. She is a ball of energy. And she's a hell of a singer. And she would be so fucking over on AEW television. She did tweet out after the tournament tapings were over that her time in AEW is done for now. I hope that eventually they can bring her in stateside, because I'm telling you right now, the crowd loves singing Judas. They love singing Tarzan Boy, and they just love having a good time. And Maki Ito would be a good fucking time on television. She just was somebody I was hoping. A lot of people wanted to see her win. Obviously, nobody Mi Suruga, Vemi, Maki Ito, and Rin Katakura are not signed by AEW. They were just women to fill up spots so they could do a Japanese side, because all they had in this was Yuka Sakazaki, Emi Sakurai, Ryo Mizunami, and Aja Kong. But yeah, Ryo Mizunami beat Maki Ito, Aja Kong, and Yuka Sakazaki to get to this moment. And this was a damn good match. Compared to what we saw last week with Nyla Rose, this was fucking better. See, you see Nyla Rose can have a good match when she goes up against somebody who can actually carry her to a good match. And Ryo Mizunami did that. Ryo Mizunami could hold her and make her look better, look good. These two went out there, they beat the fuck out of each other. Vicky Guerrero screaming her head off. Rose tries for a beast bomb. No. Ends up taking exploder suplex, which looked fucking brutal. Mizunami heads to the top rope. Rose climbs up, clubs her in the head, and climbs up to hit a suplex off the top rope. Ryo nails a suplex, then a spear. Pulls Rose into the corner, heads to the top, leg drop off the top rope. 1, 2, 3. Ryo Mizunami moves on to Revolution. Now, I was going to get so pissed off because as Nyla Rose is making her way to the ring, Excalibur says, could we see a trilogy between Nyla Rose and Shida at Revolution? I'm like, you motherfucker just spoiled this, didn't you? Thankfully, that didn't happen. Now, Shida gets in the ring and they had a trophy for this tournament. Last time they got medals, this time they got a trophy. So she gives her the trophy. Ryo Mizunami, happy she won the thing. Shida puts her hand out to shake. Oh, we're going to have a good match on Sunday. Let's shake hands. So Ryo Mizunami puts the trophy down, has to adjust it so the trophy's actually facing the right way. Then they shake hands. Looks like we're going to go commercial, but she brings Shida in, hits her with the fucking elbow, and Shida's like, I ain't playing this shit. And they just go back and forth, just hitting each other stiff, it looked like. And so Ryo Mizunami got knocked on her ass, and Shida holds the championship up, and I'm thinking, this exchange right here just tells you all you need to know about the match on Sunday. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Ryo Mizunami and Hikaru Shida will probably have one of the best women's championship matches at AEW this year and probably in its history. And to think, people wanted Britt Baker in this spot. Give me a fucking break. We got the best. If Britt Baker would have came through and beat Nyla Rose and beat fucking Thunder Rosa again and then beat Ryo Mizunami to go take on Shida, that would have been just burying this fucking division through 6 feet under. Thankfully, the right person won tonight. Honestly, out of the 4 people that the Japanese side had, with Yuka Sakazaki, Emi Sakura, Ryo Mizunami, and Aja Kong, Ryo Mizunami was probably the best choice they could have went with. Emi Sakura, I don't see it. I don't see her coming over for that. Yuka Sakazaki, I don't know. Ryo Mizunami was the right one. Aja Kong is just too old to be doing anything when it comes to winning a tournament or something in the AEW. We need to start building younger stars and stuff. I don't know how old Ryo Mizunami is. And it's speaking of Ryo Mizunami, she's 32. Yeah. She just reminds me of somebody that, my dad says, she reminds him of Okada in New Japan, but it's nah, she reminds me of somebody else, and I just can't put my finger on it, and it fucking bugs the shit out of me. It's I can't think of who it is, but she just, reminds me of somebody in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and it just bugs the shit out of me that I can't think of it. But yeah, good tournament overall. Britt Baker the only reason Britt Baker, in my opinion, moved on from round 1 to round 2 is Maddie Winkowski had to take over for Anna Jay. But other than her 2 shitty matches, the rest of the tournament was fucking fantastic. This was a really good tournament. Hopefully, and fuck anybody who said that this tournament did not have any credibility to it. Give me a fucking break. You don't like Joshi Wrestling? Too fucking bad. They put on some of the best matches in the fucking tournament. Riho vs. Thunder Rosa, another good fucking match. I'm sick and tired of people yes, the women's division is hurting. Big time. Anna Jay's out. Chris Statlander hasn't come back yet. They push fucking Britt Baker way too fucking much. But when they go out there and they give you a tournament where you had Layla Hirsch versus Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb versus Riho, Yuka Sakazaki versus Mi Suruga, fucking not Britt Baker, Remy versus Emi Sakura, Mika Ito versus Ryo Mizunami, fucking even Ryo Mizunami versus Nyla Rose is fucking good, Thunder Rosa versus Nyla Rose was good, Don't tell me this tournament sucked. People were whining and complaining because the fucking freshest Britt Baker didn't make it past the second round. She shouldn't have made it past the first round, but because they had a fucking stand-in, they had no other choice. Honestly, Britt Baker shouldn't have been in the tournament in the first place. They could have put Ivelisse there, as well as her fucking tag team partner, Diamante. Those two should have been in the tournament more than Britt Baker. Plain and simple. I don't want to fucking hear a thing about it. Congratulations to Ryo Mizunami. She deserved it. She worked her ass off. Came over here after being quarantined for 2 fucking weeks. So, good for her. I hope that we get a couple matches out of her. And we'll talk about how I think the match is going to go coming up soon. So, speaking of Britt Baker, she's not in the tournament. She did not make it past the second round. She's not going to be on the pay-per-view. So, what did they do? Rebel and Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa and Riho on the pre-show card. On the pre-show. Because they have to have their precious Dr. Britt Baker being involved with the pay-per-view one way or another. This is probably going to be Thunder Rosa's last match, unfortunately. With the NWA making the announcement that they are back on the attack later this month, I believe, for Fight TV, they're going to be, all this stuff's going to be on Fight TV, which is a fucking stupid idea, but not really, because they get a little bit more money. Honestly, the YouTube thing was probably the best deal for them, but they decided they wanted to go try and make some money, and yes, they're going to be, it's going to be $5.99 a month. I wouldn't pay for it anyway. I'll watch it. If I want to watch the NWA stuff, I'll do it like I do everything else. Anyway, so this is probably going to be Thunder Rosa's last match. If it is, she helped boost the AEW Women's Division. It's too bad that she got stuck working against Britt Baker most of her time. So Sting comes out to talk with Tony Schiavone. Says he knows Sting is prepared for the street fight on Sunday. Sting says he thought he was ready. You know what? Hopefully this one works too. No, it's only Ricky Starks. Hold on. He's prepared for a street fight on Sunday. Sting says he thought he was ready until 2 weeks ago. He realized he wasn't until he got powerbombed by the Machine Brian Cage. And that knocked all the ring rust off of me. So, Ricky Starks coming out. And let's see if this is everything. We'll make sure it is. Wish AEW put more of this shit on here.
You've shown something that I hadn't seen. You came in here and you tore this ring up. And I am man enough to admit to you that I saw something that all of us hadn't seen in a while. And that is fire from Sting. And guess what? I'm also man enough to admit that Sting, you still got it.
Which everybody knew.
Stark's trying to talk his way out of this one? I don't know. Telling the truth, though.
But I still stand behind what I said, and that is, you are no icon.
So he decides to slap Sting in the face.
Oh, what a big right hand!
So Sting gets in, he beats the hell out of Ricky Starks. He's beating him up in the corner. Takes him across the way. Lays him out with a clothesline. So then he gets him in the corner again. Throws him against the way, and this time he goes and hits the big old Stinger Splash. Sting still got it with that Stinger Splash, man. It still looks great. Gets him into the Scorpion Deathlock. Gets him in there. Puts him in the Scorpion Deathlock. Hook and the returning Powerhouse Hobbs, who hasn't been seen in a while. Thank you, Texas. Come in. Now, Sting actually sits down on Ricky Starks. I don't think he was supposed to sit down on Ricky Starks, but something happened. And he ended up just fucking falling flat on him. Hook gets Sting off of him. Brian Cage comes in from behind, swings away on Sting. He goes for another powerbomb, but outruns Darby Allin, who locks in a choke on Cage. Brian tries to fight him off in the corner, but takes a Stinger Splash to the back. Shotgun drop kick by Allin off the top rope, and Team Taz bails up the stage, and that was that. Oh boy, yeah. Nice segment here. I mean, it's great to see Sting looking good, but I'll have my thoughts on the match and who needs to win coming up here in a bit. Then we had 10 taking on Max Caster, face of the ladder match qualifier. Now, -1 was not on commentary, was here. Who was on commentary was Scorpio Sky. They have made Scorpio Sky a full of himself heel, cocky prick heel. The entire match, he's all about himself, just talking as if he is the newest prick in AEW. Why? There's already a handful of heels in AEW. This tells me one thing: Scorpio Sky is winning the ladder match. Has to be. Just has to be. We'll get my reason later. So, and I saw this on social media, and it just boggles my mind. Yes. On Dark, there have been times where they put -1, Brody Lee Jr. on commentary. The entire time, he berates and picks on and just yells and tells fucking Excalibur to shut up. And people are like, why wouldn't you put him on commentary on TV? Real fucking simple. He has a little bit of a potty mouth because nobody told him he shouldn't be cussing. You don't want to have your lead announcer on national television being bullied by a kid. It does not look good for your fucking company. You can do that on YouTube, but you don't want to do that on fucking television. We should not see -1 on commentary on TV ever. Ever. They want to do it on Dark, that's fine because it's fucking YouTube. You can do whatever the fuck you want, but you have standards and practices and things you need to abide by on TV, and I don't want to see a 10-year-old child or whoever it is berating the commentators on TV. It's just not going to fly with me. It's cute, it's adorable, yes, they're helping this kid through a traumatic time, but that's got to end eventually too. You can't just keep babying this kid and letting him do whatever the fuck he wants on television. Yes, you signed him to a contract to be able to help the kid and to help the family, but there comes a time when you got to just pull back the brakes and stop giving this kid, everything that he fucking wants. It's just not going to work. So, pretty much in this match, Ten's beating the fuck out of Max Caster the entire time. Max Caster gets a couple things in, but Max Caster distracts the referee. Jack Evans comes out of nowhere. I don't know what Anthony Bowens is. He wasn't here this week. Maybe it was travel restrictions or something. I don't know. But he gets hit. He takes the boombox, hits 10. Max Caster just comes over, lays down on him, 1, 2, 3, and he gets the win. After the match, Caster leaves, and so does Jack Evans. Jack Evans walks up, and there's Matt Hardy with a nice, hefty envelope with that says $42,000 for what he did. Hardy looking, of course, to take down every member of the Dark Order, and there's that. Earlier in the day, we heard Miro say he gave Chuck a chance. He didn't want to, so I have to hurt you. It's game over on Sunday. Hangman Adam Page and John Silver take on Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn. Great to see Mark Quinn back. We haven't seen him in 2 weeks. I don't know what was going on, but he wasn't there for the last set of tapings. And, of course, this week was a live. I think this one was live. Yeah, this one was live. Of course, you weren't going to have Shaq do a tape show, which, if this was taped, then it explains why Shaq's match was, why people love Shaq's match, but I don't know. Pretty sure this one was a live show. Each team, this was pretty good. Each team trading some offense from the beginning. Matt Hardy, of course, doing the chicken shit heel thing. Every time Hangman Page would come into the match, he wants nothing to do with him. Matt Quinn was pretty much dead to rights late in the match. And Hangman's like, come on, tag him in, Matt. Tag him in. I want you right now. Tag. Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn rolled to the outside. Matt Hardy actually drops down, grabs Mark Quinn, and rolls him in. So, Mark Quinn stuns Hangman Page, so Matt Hardy actually goes for him. Said, tag me in, so he tags him in. Matt Hardy gets some moves in, but Hardy gets away from Page, rolls Quinn Page bridges Quinn. Silver tags in and hits a big spear on Hardy and throws a bunch of shots, beating the piss out of him after what he did to 10. Silver with a backslide right into multiple kicks to the face. Brainbuster 2. Hardy up, backdrop on Silver, tags in Quinn. He climbs to the top and hits a big shotgun dropkick. Silver is able to tag Page though. Double team moves on Quinn. My God, there was a combination where Silver just went bananas on fucking Matt Hardy's head. Just kicks and different types of kicks, and it was like, holy shit. Silver with a released German suplex. Page hits the buckshot lariat. Page looks at Hardy. Hardy just drops down. Mark Quinn, the sacrificial lamb. 1, 2, 3, and that was that. Now, after the match, Silver hugs Adam Page. Adam Page gets this little smirk on his face, then taps him on his hand as it's there, and he lets go. Matt Hardy comes from behind, smacks Silver and Page with the microphone, starts beating up Hangman Adam Page, and says, I'm going to beat the hell out of you and take everything from you. Saying he's 6-0, everything you have is going to be mine. He's beating him with the fucking microphone. Out comes the Dark Order, and they save him, and then it gets really stupid. Because we go straight into WWE's playbook. We have a Battle Royal in the Tag Team Division next on Sunday, because we didn't just have one 3-4 weeks ago to determine MJF and Chris Jericho's match at Revolution. No, we got to have another one. But it's going to be different, because at the pay-per-view, it's going to be Royal Rumble rules. Get to that later. So everybody and their brother comes out here and beating the hell out of each other in the ring. Matt Hardy sneaks away, looks at everyone, points his finger at him, like, I'm going to deal with you later, and gets out of there. And that's how the show goes off the air. So, yeah, that was your go-home show. Outside of the Shaq crap, good show. Really good show. But I don't care what anyone says. I did not like Shaq and Jade Cargill versus these two. I will say this: it's a lot. It would have been much worse if that was Brandy Rose in Red Velvet spot. I'm just saying that right now. If anybody was going to give Jade Cargill anything, it was going to be, I would take Red Velvet over Brandy Rhodes any day of the fucking week. Because I didn't like the match. I guarantee nobody would have hated the match. Because you would have had Brandy just doing her worst to try and get Jade Cargill over. Red Velvet went out there and did everything she could to get Jade Cargill over. And for it did what it did. Now, when it comes to Jade Cargill, I need to see more. I cannot determine how good she is or how much she needs to work for until we see more. Matches on Dark. Just going out there. Maybe on Saturday, because they're going to have a special episode of Dark on Saturday. Maybe she's in a match there. Have her go out there. Have a couple squashes. Have her just build up her momentum till she starts having legit matches. This was an interesting way to bring in a new talent that hasn't pretty much had a match, I think, ever. I know she's training at the Nightmare Factory. I'm pretty sure she's one of Cody Rhodes' first actual talents that he's trained since AEW started. I could be totally wrong. I think I read that somewhere or heard it somewhere. So it'll be interesting. Now, let's talk about AEW Revolution 2021. Remember, last year had the match of the year in a lot of people's books. Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks. This year, the Young Bucks are in the tag team title match again, but this time they're champions. Will it be the match of the year? Don't think so, but let's start with Riho and Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker and Rebel. Now, I think this is going to be Thunder Rosa's last match. Unfortunately, in AEW. Unfortunately, that probably means that Thunder Rosa is taking the pinfall here, because if she is leaving and she's going back to NWA and getting away from here, you should always go out on your back. Would I want to see Riho and Thunder Rosa win? Yes, but are they going to? Most likely not. So, unfortunately, I had to say Britt Baker and Rebel are going to probably win. Then, we get to Casino Tag Team Battle Royal for a future AEW World Tag Team title shot. Bear Country, the Dark Order, the Inner Circle, the Butcher and the Blade, Private Party, Top Flight, Death Triangle, Varsity Blondes, Matt Sydal and Mike Sydal, the Sydal brothers, SCU, the Natural Nightmares, and whoever else. Who's going to win? What kind of stipulations? How is this going to work? Well, basically, this is what's going to work. 2 teams are going to start. Every 2 minutes, I think it's every 90 seconds or 30 seconds or whatever, a new team's going to come out until they're done with everyone. Now, they didn't say anything about card suits like they did with the first 2 Casino Battle Royals. So, of course, both members have to be eliminated instead of just one. Who's going to win? I don't know. I would love to see Alex Reynolds and John Silver win, just because that would be awesome for them. Santana and Ortiz would be awesome. We just got a tag team title match 2 weeks ago, so I think they're out. That triangle, I don't know if I would see them win. I would say Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, but I don't think they're going to count this against if they lose. They're out. They're going to split up. But this one's a hard one. I'm just going to bank on it and say Alex Reynolds and John Silver for the win. Just going to go with that. Best friends Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor versus Miro and Kip Sabian for grudge matches. For a grudge match. Because of what happened at the wedding and the fact that these two teams have been just going at each other for the last few months. I'm going to say Miro and Kip Sabian win this one. I think Miro needs... Actually, no. I'm sorry. I'll change that. Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor need to win this. And Miro needs to get away from Kip Sabian. The wedding and best man thing is done. It's time to move on. Plain and simple. It's time to move on. Kenny Omega... Well, we'll get back to that one. Never mind. That's the last match we'll talk about. Cody Rhodes versus Scorpio Sky versus Penta El Zero Miedo versus Lance Archer with Jake Roberts versus Max Caster and to be determined. Honestly... I feel like this is going to be Scorpio Skies because the fact that they just turned him heel or had him be really heelish and be so full of himself. I think this is definitely going to be, I think this is going to be him. I think this is going to be him winning, and then they're going to just he's going to disavow SCU as being wanting anything to do with them. So Scorpio Sky is going to win, in my opinion. It sucks that Phoenix is not in this match. I think it does feel like blasphemy not to have the best high flyer in all of AEW in a ladder match. Unfortunately, he's going to be in the tag team division, which is honestly why they didn't have him win the match, is because he's already got a match in the Battle Royal. So, Scorpio Sky for the win. Adam Hangman Page versus Matt Hardy. Big money match. Winner gets the first quarter earnings of 2021 of the loser. This has got to go to Hangman Adam Page, I think. I feel like Hangman Adam Page wins this, gets Matt Hardy off his back, and then he moves on. Because quite honestly, if you think about it, if Hangman Adam Page loses, what's next? What do they do next? He lost his money. Okay, what else? Matt Hardy losing can make him more deranged, more pissed off, just want to go out there and just hurt people, the Dark Order, Hangman Adam Page, and anybody who gets in his way. So Matt Hardy losing makes more sense because he's big money Matt right now, and him having to lose some of his big money is going to piss him off even more. Hikaru Shida versus Ryu Mizunami for the AEW Women's World Championship. This one could steal the show in my opinion. Two Japanese wrestlers, Joshi's out there going to wrestle. I don't think this is going to be in a Joshi-style match. These two are going to go out there, and I think they're going to strong-style this. Plain and simple, I think this is going to be a strong-style type match. But Hikaru Shida is probably going to retain. The reason I say Hikaru Shida is probably going to retain is Ryo Mizunami she lives in Japan. She's still in Japan, I believe it is, as a working talent. I think she has a school. I don't think she's going to be leaving. I'm not sure. I could be totally wrong, but I don't know if she is going to be available to be able to be over in AEW for the whole time. I'm not sure. If she's somebody who's moving to the United States and this was just getting her over there, then I could totally see her winning. It would be great for them to have another champion. I think this is the problem with AEW, is that they don't have enough to go out there for the women's division Hikaru Shida's been the champion since Double or Nothing last year. And honestly, they haven't done much with her. They really haven't done much of anything with her, and it sucks. It's just going to be interesting what they do. I say Shida's going to win, because if Ryo Mizunami is not over here as a permanent fixture, there's really no reason to give her the women's championship, because she'll go back to Japan. She has to leave here. She has to quarantine for 2 weeks after leaving here. But she has to quarantine for 2 weeks, go back to Japan, quarantine for another 2 weeks, do whatever she's got in Japan, and it would just be such of a headache. So Ryo Mizunami, it's going to be a hell of a match, is not winning this match. It's going to be Hikaru Shida. Who beats Shida? Honestly, they don't have anybody on the roster right now. Unless they're going to have Riho become a 2-time women's champion, which I don't think would be a smart idea. I do not know who in the fuck they're going to have beat Hikaru Shida and actually be believable. There is no fucking way, and I'm telling you this right, there's no fucking way they were going to have me believe that Britt Baker could win this shit, and then it just wouldn't have worked. So, moving on. Team Taz versus Sting and Darby Allin in a street fight. Now, a lot of people expecting, Sting's going to win because they have to. No, Sting needs to lose. This needs to be one of those matches to where Sting is not. Sting needs to take the pinfall 100%. Sting needs to be the one. Brian Cage, or whichever one of these guys they want to have be the big guy, or the big promotion from Team Taz needs to beat Sting. If they want Vicky, and honestly, they've been having Vicky Starks be. He came out tonight. He slapped Sting. He got in Sting's face. He's the one who's been calling Sting out of all of Team Taz. So, if anything, Ricky Starks needs to pin Sting. Needs to beat Sting and get that cockiness in him to where he thinks he's better than Team Taz and eventually gets kicked out of Team Taz. I think if Ricky Starks and Brian Cage win this match, which I'm going with, Ricky Starks beats Sting, and it's going to eventually lead to him being knocked out, taken out of Team Taz because his attitude and his ego just gets the best of him. Young Bucks versus Inner Circle AEW World Tag Team Championships. This is going to be one hell of a match, I think. MJF's going to be doing most of the work against the Young Bucks, pretty much. I think Matt and Nick win this match. I don't see a reason to give the Inner Circle the titles. I think this could be where Sammy Guevara makes his return, screwing the Inner Circle out of the tag team titles, setting up for MJF versus Sammy Guevara at Double or Nothing, which I think is where they're going with this. Then we have Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega, exploding barbed wire death match. This is going to be brutal. Again, I think this is going to be one of the most hard to watch matches in AEW history. Because there's no ring ropes, it's all fucking barbed wire. Landmines outside. You touch the barbed wire, they're going to explode on you. Even though it does, because the one that I saw with Terry Funk, the pieces I did of it, the exploding came up a little too late. I don't know. I've never been in an exploding barbed wire death match. Maybe the practical effects delayed, but the injuries, the pain is there immediately. I don't know. All I know is both of these men are going to come out different than they went in. Kenny Omega wins. No reason to take the title off him right now. He just went in December. And it makes, with what they're doing with the crossover and the fact that obviously it's going to lead to Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega one-on-one, champion versus champion at their next big pay-per-view possibly. Honestly, I think they should have it at Double or Nothing, but that's just me. But Kenny Omega should still be your champion coming out of TV, coming out of Revolution. But that is your AEW on TNT. Well, let's get back into it. We have Britt Baker Britt Baker and Rebel versus over Riho and Thunder Rosa, unfortunately. Alex and Reynolds are going to win the Battle Royal, in my opinion. Best Friends are going to win the tag team match. I think that's going to cause Miro to get done with Kip. I think Kip might cost them the match. Cody Rhodes, Scorpio Sky with his new attitude is going to win the ladder match. Adam Hangman Page over Matt Hardy. Shida over Ryo Mizunami. Team Taz over Darby Allin with Ricky Starks pinning Sting, getting that attitude and getting kicked out eventually. The Young Bucks over the Inner Circle and Kenny Omega over Jon Moxley should be one hell of a match. Of a pay-per-view. But that is your AEW on TNT review and Revolution predictions. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds at the France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/the France Club. Basically, if you find the France Club, it's used on any social media platform. It is me. And I'll see you guys on Friday for SmackDown. Until then, my name is the France, and I'll see you guys later.